body is the living record of consciousness, the map of every memory the soul has ever walked through. Beneath layers of skin, blood and bone is not merely a biological structure, but streams of frequency that keep retelling the story of energy. Every cell carries its own memory, holding waves of emotion, the pulse of love and the contraction of fear. Humans have learned to listen to everything outside themselves, yet have forgotten that the body keeps whispering every day in a language without words. That language is the contraction and expansion, the shallow or deep rhythm of breath, the lightness when we flow, and the heaviness when we resist ourselves. When the soul begins to remember, the first realization does not happen in the mind but in the body, because the body is the first meeting point between invisible energy and the physical world. It does not speak in thoughts, but in frequencies. When we worry, the body sends electrical and chemical signals reflecting that worry. When we love, every cell expands in the same rhythm. When we suppress emotion, the body keeps it, tying invisible knots around the neck, the shoulders, the chest. It is not a mistake, but the natural intelligence of life. The body is always truthful. It does not know how to pretend. It does not reason or judge. It simply responds to the frequency we emit. The problem is that humans have stopped listening. We have grown used to forcing the body to obey the will, to follow plans, to go beyond its limits for some achievement. But in that push, we lose the ability to feel. We forget that breath is not just a function, but a channel between soul and matter. We forget that the heartbeat does not exist only to sustain life, but to mirror the vibration of emotion. When we rush, the body speeds up to keep pace. When we are dishonest, the inner energy falls out of rhythm. When we reject ourselves, the cells close and the dialogue stops. And then we wonder why we are tired, why we feel empty, why we are lost, while the answer has always been inside us, where the body still waits to be heard. The body that listens is not a stage of learning something new, but of dissolving forgetfulness. And when we stop and truly pay attention, we realize the body does not need to be controlled. It needs to be understood. It does not need healing. It needs us to stop sending distorted signals. Every time we release tension, the energy that has been trapped begins to move. Every time we touch our emotion without fear, the body responds with warmth and expansion. That is when we start learning our original language again, not the language of the mind, but of pure presence. There comes a point when all analysis must stop, because the body does not respond to reasoning but to attention. One slow breath, one honest look into what we feel, and the entire field of energy begins to rebalance. In that stillness, we hear what we used to miss, that the body was never against us, it was always trying to speak. Every pain is a message. Every fatigue, a signal. Every heartbeat, a reminder to return. When we listen instead of control, the body becomes the guide, no longer a burden. That is the moment the language of light begins to translate itself through every cell. The cells do not need belief, they need presence. When presence runs deep enough, the body answers with a safety beyond words. It feels like the universe gently calling us back to its natural rhythm. Each breath becomes a melody, each movement a wave, each silence a doorway to new awareness. When we listen deeply enough, we realize there is no boundary between body and energy, between matter and consciousness. The body is not a temporary shell, but an extension of light. And in that realization, we stop trying to escape it and learn instead to walk fully within it, as a soul that listens to its own heartbeat. Beneath the layers of movement we call life, a silent form of listening is always happening, where every cell, every nerve keeps responding to each thought we release. The body does not just hear sound, it hears frequency, it hears the energy of every emotion and belief we hold in silence. It does not ask what we want, it simply reflects truthfully what we believe to be real. Every suppressed emotion becomes a wave echoing through the bloodstream. Every unspoken word settles in the throat. Every negative thought turns into a heavy vibration resting on the shoulders. The body is never silent. It is only that we have forgotten its language. When the soul begins to remember, the first stage is the birth of light, but the second is learning how to listen to the body, because that is where the light takes form. When we are caught in the speed of the mind, we often see physical sensations as inconveniences. We take medicine when tired, endure when in pain, and treat tension as something to get rid of instead of a message to understand. But each time we do that, the bridge between soul and matter weakens. The body only wants our attention. It does not need analysis. It only needs presence. When we place a hand on the aching place and breathe with it, we send a signal of acceptance. In that moment, the frequency of the body begins to change. Healing does not come from technique, but from allowing energy to move naturally. Every cell carries the intelligence of the universe, and that intelligence opens only when we stop imposing our will. Notice what happens when we stop judging the body, when we stop calling it weak, tired, or not beautiful enough. When we end the battle with our own form, energy withdraws from conflict and returns to balance. That is not magic, it is the physics of resonance. Energy always moves toward acceptance, and the body is the most accurate map of how much acceptance we hold. It shows us where resistance still lives, where love has not yet reached. As we learn to listen, we begin to sense the rhythm of the body, a rhythm unlike the ticking of a clock, more like the whisper of a river. Sometimes strong, sometimes soft, sometimes asking us to pause and breathe, sometimes urging us to move so energy can circulate. Those who listen to the body no longer live by forced discipline, but by the natural rhythm of life. They no longer search for balance outside because their body has become the compass. Each morning, the first breath tells them whether to rest or to rise, to be silent or to express. And the miracle is that when they trust the body's language, the universe synchronizes with that frequency. People, events, and opportunities appear at the right time as a natural response to inner harmony. The body listens to the universe, and the universe listens back, because they are not separate, only two reflections of the same frequency. The outer world is the extension of this quantum body, and the body is the most direct point of communication with the field of all intelligence. When someone loses connection with their body, they also lose connection with the stream of creative energy. They begin to think instead of feel, to try instead of allow, and in doing so, they step out of the present. The present does not exist in the mind, it exists in the body. The moment we return to the feeling of feet touching the ground, of air against skin, we come back to here and now. That is the meeting point of time and eternity, where the soul merges with matter to remember itself. Listening to the body is not just a healing method, it is the doorway back to the true self. Because the body always lives in truth, it cannot exist in the past or future, it can only be here. And when we align with its presence, the mind begins to dissolve into that same rhythm. As we slow the breath, time slows too, reality becomes clearer, and the noise of the world no longer dominates. In that quiet, we finally hear what we have been searching for everywhere else, that the universe was never apart from us. It has always been speaking through our heartbeat. If one day you feel alone, remember that billions of cells are still singing with you, sending streams of light through your veins, listening to every thought you have. They do not judge. They only reflect the love you give to yourself. When you start communicating with them through gratitude, the body becomes a companion on the path of evolution, no longer a burden, no longer a cage. And then you realize listening to the body is not just about awareness, it is reverence for the life moving within you, For only when the body and soul speak the same language can light truly flow through form. In that moment, every movement, every breath, every heartbeat becomes a silent prayer for the awakening of the whole. When energy within us begins to move, the body is no longer a still space, but a complex symphony where every vibration retells a fragment of memory the soul once forgot. Yet not all sounds are pure. Some notes are distorted, blocked, or disrupted by the resistance of the mind. That is the moment when resistance turns into noise. When we fight against our own emotions, energy gets trapped. When we hold back tears, anger, or grief, the body does not erase them, it stores them, waiting for the moment we are still enough to listen. And eventually, that listening becomes a sacred act, because only by recognizing the noise can we rediscover our original melody. Resistance is not an enemy, it is a signal that we are holding on to something no longer aligned with our current frequency. When new energy wants to enter, the old must leave. But when we fear loss, we tighten our grip, and that tension creates friction. The body begins to ache, the heart beats faster, the breath turns shallow. The mind mistakes it for danger, yet it is only light trying to pass through the dark. Every transformation comes with noise, like the vibration of metal before melting, like the echo in a pipe before water flows through. The problem is, humans fear the noise, so they stop halfway. They try to silence it with medicine, with distractions, with busyness. But what we silence never disappears. It hides deeper within the body, waiting for another chance to be heard. And each time it is ignored, the signal grows stronger, more persistent, until we can no longer escape it. When we start to see resistance not as a flaw, but as a call to return, energy begins to shift. What we call chaos is merely a message that has not yet been fully heard. Imagine yourself as a musician playing the wrong note. The dissonance does not mean the instrument is broken, it simply asks to be tuned. The body works the same way. It does not want to hurt us. It wants to bring us back into harmony. Each time we feel exhausted, it is not because negative energy has entered, but because we have resisted change for too long. When we release, the noise disappears, not because it was erased, but because it has merged back into a greater melody. Energy begins to flow again in its natural rhythm. The breath deepens, the eyes clear, and the body feels unlocked from its constraint. In that moment, we are no longer the ones trying to control energy, but witnesses of life adjusting itself. This is the essence of true listening, for all real healing begins not from the silence of sound, but from the silence of resistance. When the mind no longer reacts, energy knows its way home. Painful memories and old wounds do not need to be erased. They simply need to be seen. Like light shining through murky water, when we stop stirring it, the mud settles, and in the stillness, the bottom becomes clear. The human body follows the same principle. When we stop fighting emotions, energy is no longer fragmented. Wholeness returns. The body, mind, and soul begin to vibrate at the same frequency. That is why truly silent people can heal without effort, because they no longer generate noise in their energy field. Their presence alone allows the energy of others to reorganize itself. In that state, the body is no longer a victim of reality, but a doorway into the essence of energy. We begin to understand that each time resistance dissolves, a new layer of awareness opens. The body grows lighter, the mind more fluid, the soul brighter. The heaviness was never punishment, but a sign that light was ready to expand. Noise no longer frightens us, because we understand it as a signal of reconstruction. Just as an orchestra must tune before a concert, the initial turbulence is merely preparation for harmony. The real problem arises only when we believe something is wrong with us, that the body is failing, that we are moving backward. In truth, it is only the old song ending to make room for a new resonance. When we understand this, discomfort becomes something we meet with gratitude. Instead of asking why this is happening, we ask where this energy wants to go. When we ask the right question, the answer always comes as a feeling, maybe a lighter breath, a wave of warmth, or simply a quiet peace in the chest. That is the sign of transformation. No more noise, only the pure rhythm of life unfolding. And from that, we learn the most important lesson of this stage, that resistance does not need to be destroyed, it needs to be heard, because only through full listening can noise return to music. The body becomes once again the perfect instrument of the soul, and the listener, the player, and the observer merge into one clear silence. In that silence, there is no division between pain and peace, between resistance and flow. There is only one thing left, the pure presence that listens to itself. When the noise of resistance begins to fade, we enter a quiet field where energy no longer collides, but starts to flow in its natural rhythm. This is the stage where reasoning becomes useless, for the body no longer seeks to be understood, it only wants to be felt. Stillness is not the absence of sound, it is the state in which we stop reacting, stop fixing, stop forcing energy to follow our will. In stillness, the body speaks the original language of life, a language without words that can make us cry, tremble, or smile without knowing why. It is the moment consciousness touches the essence of matter, where every cell remembers it belongs to a greater rhythm. Humanity has become so accustomed to doing, yet few realize that true power lies not in action, but in the ability to stop. When we stop trying to change the body changes on its own. When we stop trying to heal, energy restores its order naturally. This silence does not come from effort, it comes from allowance. Stillness cannot be created, it can only be recognized when all inner disturbances cease to stir. The miracle is that when we truly listen through stillness, we realize the body was never broken, it has only been recalibrating itself to the frequency of the soul. Every ache, every fatigue, every tension is the sign of energy wanting to move differently. And when we stop interfering, that energy finds its natural flow again. The breath becomes the bridge, the thread of light guiding us through the fog of the mind. Each slow exhale tells the body that everything is fine, that we no longer fight against life. Gradually, the nervous system shifts from survival to presence. A softness spreads through the body, not because someone saved us, but because we stopped imprisoning ourselves in tension. As the mind quiets, we begin to sense subtle vibrations we once ignored, the rhythm of the heartbeat merging with the breath, the gentle warmth moving under the skin. This is no longer the physical body, but the energy body opening to deeper layers of awareness. In stillness, we sense an intelligence orchestrating everything, a silent force that needs no direction from the mind. It is the same force that closes wounds, that lets tears fall when needed, that stops the heart when our time arrives. It is pure information flowing through all forms. When we stop talking and thinking, we begin to hear it, not with ears, but with the whole being. The body becomes the ear of the soul. Every cell is a point of contact between energy and matter, between the unseen and the seen. In that silence, we begin to hear what we have always called intuition. Intuition is not a whisper from somewhere mysterious. It is the natural mechanism of resonance. When we become still, we synchronize with the quantum field around us, where all information already exists. The right decisions and perfect timing no longer come from thought, but from feeling. We know not because we analyze, but because the clarity is undeniable. That is the intelligence of the body, the wisdom of stillness. When we live in that state, every action becomes refined. No more wasted energy and resistance or fear. We simply do what must be done at the exact moment it must be done. Efficiency rises not from effort, but from unobstructed flow. This is the secret the awakened ones have always spoken of, that power lies not in striving, but in presence. The one who is present does not need to seek, because everything they need is already here. When we reach true stillness, time loses its meaning. We are no longer pulled by the past or anxious for the future, for both exist only in the voice of the mind. In stillness, there is only the present, and in the present, everything is perfect. We realize reality does not need to be changed, it only needs to be seen without judgment. When that perception appears, body, mind, and soul merge into one field of awareness. All boundaries dissolve. We are no longer beings living inside a body, but life itself breathing through this form. From here, listening becomes meditation, and meditation becomes a way of living. Every movement, every glance, every breath becomes sacred. There is no longer a separation between doing and being, between healing and existence. The body becomes the instrument, consciousness the invisible player, and when the two are one, the music of life begins to play. That is the power of stillness, something that never needs to be proven, only experienced. Because in stillness we stop seeking the light, for we realize we are the light, and this body is simply how that light learns to hear itself. When one begins to understand the true meaning of stillness, they touch the delicate boundary between effort and surrender. Not the surrender of defeat, but the surrender of a soul that has realized there is nothing left to claim, because everything has always belonged to it. This stage is no longer about controlling energy or the body, but about dissolving into the natural rhythm of the universe, where every breath becomes an act of acceptance. When we let go of resistance, the body softens like water. All tension, all attachment, all attempts to hold ourselves together begin to dissolve. Energy, once trapped within rigid thought, now flows freely through every cell. In this state, old emotions rise, not to cause suffering, but to be released. What we once avoided now becomes the doorway to freedom, because only when we can sit with fear, anger, and pain without trying to change them does the trapped energy begin to dissolve. The body no longer contracts, but opens. We start to feel a lightness that words cannot capture, as if an invisible weight has finally been set down. This is the frequency of surrender, the vibration in which the body and the soul move as one. It is not an act, but a state, a natural expansion that occurs when there are no more walls to defend. Within this frequency, each cell begins to sing, not with sound, but with light. One may feel energy moving through the body, perhaps warm, perhaps cool, perhaps like a gentle breeze brushing against the skin. It is life rebirthing itself from within, needing no intervention, no effort. When we surrender, life begins to function the way it was always meant to. Everything we used to chase begins to come to us, not because we attract it through desire, but because we have become the same frequency as it. We no longer radiate lack, we radiate wholeness. In that space, love, peace, and clarity return to their rightful place. The one who no longer resists becomes like a clear mirror, reflecting everything without clinging to any image. The body becomes a subtle instrument attuned to the movement of the cosmos. A sense of fluidity arises, as if there is a hidden song that the entire being is dancing to without thought, without direction. Every action arises naturally and perfectly. When words are needed, they flow. When silence is needed, it settles. When movement is required, the body knows how to move. This is the art of living in the frequency of surrender. It is not weakness nor passivity, but a quiet kind of strength. The surrendered one is not controlled by fear, but guided by a deeper intelligence. In surrender, we begin to feel that nothing lies outside the current of life. Even what once caused pain carries its own rhythm, serving the expansion of the soul. When we stop trying to understand why, when we no longer demand reasons, we begin to see the perfection in all things. What we call loss is merely the space for the new to be born. What we call endings are transformations of energy. And what we call pain is simply light finding its way through darkness. When this becomes experience rather than concept, perception itself transforms. We no longer react to life, but merge with it. There is no longer one who suffers or one who controls, only life unfolding in countless forms. The body becomes the witness of that unfolding, the bridge linking the soul to truth. When we surrender completely, the body enters its deepest state of restoration. Every organ, every cell begins to remember its original rhythm. Scientists may call it biological self-regulation, but in the language of energy, it is the synchronization with the frequency of the universe. We no longer fight the flow of life, for we see that we are the flow itself. In this moment, there is no separation between observer and observed. Everything unites in a silent knowing that does not think but simply is. When someone reaches this point, their light changes. Not a visible light, but a frequency felt by the heart. Others feel safe around them, peaceful without knowing why. It is because they exist within the field of surrender, the vibration where all things align back to harmony. In surrender, we become the still center of the energetic storm, where there is no fear, only a deep trust in the intelligence of life. And within that trust, we begin to create effortlessly, to heal without methods, to love without conditions. We realize that surrender does not strip power away, it restores true power. Because only in letting go can light move freely through us. And when that happens, the body becomes the instrument of the divine, resonating with the pure melody of life breathing through us. When energy has learned the art of surrender, the body begins to transform in ways the mind cannot explain. A deeper intelligence awakens, not born from thought, but from the union of matter and light. The body is no longer merely a form, it becomes a bridge between two worlds, between the visible and the invisible, between wave and particle, between energy and awareness. Each cell is reactivated, becoming a meeting point between space and time, between what exists and what is yet to be born. In the moment we truly feel this connection, we realize that the body does not belong to us, we belong to it, for it is the extension of the universal field, observing itself through this form. When we look at our hands, our heartbeat, our skin, we see not just biology, but intricate lines of energy woven perfectly to sustain life. The human body is the physical bridge of cosmic consciousness, the place where light becomes form. Every thought, emotion, and intention sends an electromagnetic signal into the body, shaping the structure of its cells. When we think positively, the body responds by softening. When we feel gratitude, the cells synchronize, creating resonance, what science calls coherence. But when we are afraid or doubtful, the body contracts, disconnecting the flow between inner energy and the field around us. The universe always seeks to flow through us. Yet we often close the gate, believing we are separate, believing we are small. Only when we recognize the body as the bridge do we return to the primal current of life, where energy moves through us like air through an open doorway. Each inhale is the universe entering itself, each exhale is life expanding outward. Every step we take does not just move us, it moves energy across the entire field, because each movement sends ripples farther than we can imagine. In this state of awareness, the body is no longer a boundary, but a meeting point of infinity. When we place a hand on the chest and feel the heartbeat, it is the sound of the universe listening to itself. When we gaze at the sky in stillness, two energy fields communicate without words. The boundary between inner and outer fades until it disappears. The body no longer stands on one side, but becomes the bridge connecting infinite consciousness with the finite world. The enlightened ones of old knew this truth when they said, "Those who listen to their bodies will hear the voice of the divine, for the body is the microphone of the soul." Every intuition, every insight, every subtle perception is transmitted through the body. It is the most refined instrument of energy we possess, and the map guiding us to the expanded reality. As we learn to listen, we begin to notice signals leading us in the right direction. A place, a person, a decision, all evoke a response in the body before the mind understands. A heavy feeling signals caution, a light feeling means alignment, warmth opens, and cold closes. The body always knows. Yet most people live so far from it that they no longer sense these messages. They seek answers through logic, though the answers are already printed in their cells. The bridge has never been severed, only covered by the mist of false perception. Each time we return to awareness, each time we slow down and let the breath guide us, the mist fades and the light of information begins to flow again. We no longer feel alone on this journey, for we sense that everything is communicating with us in its own way. Trees, sounds, light are not the outer world, but energetic reflections of ourselves. When the body becomes the bridge, we see ourselves in everything, and everything in ourselves. At that point, we stop asking the universe for signs, because we realize we are the sign. Synchronicity is no longer a miracle. It is the natural state of being. And the most astonishing thing is that when the body reaches this level of resonance, it not only transmits information, but emits light. From each person, a field of energy radiates strong enough to influence the environment around them. One who lives in harmony can bring peace to others simply by their presence. No words, no action, only vibration. When we understand this, we begin to live consciously, aware of how we move, speak, breathe, and see, because every movement becomes a prayer for harmony. The body becomes the steadfast bridge between the soul and the world, between the realm of light and the physical plane. And one day we understand that this bridge was never built, for it was never lost. It has always been there, waiting for us to step upon it, to cross and to come home. In that realization, we no longer see ourselves as seekers or healers or students, but simply as the heartbeat of the universe taking human form. Not higher, not lower, just a single note in the vast symphony of existence. When the body and soul rediscover their shared rhythm, harmony is no longer something to achieve, but the natural state of existence. Every movement, every emotion, every breath aligns into one rhythm, like a song the universe is playing through the form of a human being. This is the moment energy reaches resonance, where each cell stops vibrating separately and begins to move as one frequency. Those who experience this feel a profound stillness within, a kind of peace that does not depend on circumstance and cannot be taken away by any external change. It feels as though the universe itself is breathing with you, as if each heartbeat is synchronized with the great pulse of life. This state is called harmonic alignment, where every layer of energy within a person vibrates in a single unified melody. In this state, the body is no longer a tool, but an instrument. The soul is no longer the player, but the music itself. All boundaries between inner and outer dissolve, and we begin to perceive reality not through thought, but through vibration. We know what is true, not because logic says so, but because the energy within expands, softens, and brightens as we approach truth. We know what is false, not because someone tells us, but because the body contracts, dulls, and loses clarity. This is the language of harmony that the mind can never translate into words. When body and soul move together, we become natural conduits for light. Energy flows through us unaltered by doubt or resistance, spreading purely like water through a clear channel. Every action, no matter how small, carries the frequency of clarity. Words become gentle yet powerful. The gaze becomes calm yet deep, and our presence itself begins to shift the energy of the space around us. We no longer need to heal others because resonance does it on its own. When someone steps into our field, they feel peace without knowing why. This is not magic, but the mechanics of frequency. When a strong, stable field appears, weaker ones automatically adjust to synchronize. That is why those who live in harmony bring comfort to others simply through presence. But to maintain this state requires absolute honesty with oneself. Every time we speak what is not true or act against the soul's rhythm, energy falls out of alignment. The frequency shifts slightly, and the body immediately feels it. A heaviness appears in the chest, a fatigue in the shoulders, a tension in the stomach. These are not negative signs, but the body's self-balancing system reminding us to return to center. The more we live in truth, the lighter we become, and the lighter we are, the brighter we shine. This light is not seen by the eyes, but felt as a vibration that makes everything we touch clearer, softer, closer to its essence. When harmony deepens, we realize that all chaos in the external world is only a reflection of misalignment within. When we remain balanced, reality rearranges itself. People, events, opportunities, even the weather respond to our field. It may sound mystical, but it is simply the law of resonance. Similar frequencies attract each other, and when we hold a high, steady vibration, we become the magnetic center of everything that shares it. In that state, we no longer pray to receive what we want. We give thanks because everything is already aligned. The body and soul become two instruments in the same orchestra, neither leading nor following, but creating harmony together. Every moment becomes meditation, every action a sacred expression, not for a goal, but for the joy of being in tune. When we eat, the body feels the energy of the earth and sky. When we sleep, energy regenerates through dreams. When we look at someone with an unjudging gaze, we offer them the chance to realign their own frequency. This is the power of harmonic alignment, where we do not need to do much, only exist correctly. And existing correctly does not mean striving to be perfect, but allowing ourselves to be real. In truth, there is freedom. In freedom, there is harmony, and in harmony, there is light. When we reach this level, the body is no longer the home of the soul, but the living proof of unity between energy and matter. Every gesture, every breath becomes a message to the universe that harmony is real. And when someone lives in that state, they not only transform themselves, but soften the vibrations of the world around them. The outer world begins to reflect the peace they hold inside. Then we realize that harmony was never a destination, but the natural essence of existence. It was never lost, only hidden beneath the noise of fear. When we are still enough to listen, we discover that the melody has been playing since the dawn of creation, in every cell, in every heartbeat, in every breath. And we are simply that music being heard in human form. When the body and soul move together in perfect rhythm, the journey is no longer about seeking, but about returning. We realize that what we once called awakening was never a destination, but the recognition that we have always